part, and there are some difficult. Okay? This one is only one which is important and difficult. Okay? So I'm afraid that you cannot understand it without me, just based on the textbook. Okay? So in 5 minutes I try to help you. Maybe it will help, maybe it will not. Okay. So if you don't know anything about the T cell, it will be hard. Okay. So what was the role of the dendritic cells? The dendritic cells recognize the pathogen and transport it to the lymph node. Okay, that's all. And in the lymph node, the specific lymphocyte, the specific T cell will proliferate. Okay. So we have naive T cell in the lymph node. What does it mean, naive? Never seen the antigen before. Okay. It came from the thymus, came from the circulation. So what's the end of the process? We have million specific T cell here. Yeah, there only is one who is specific, started to proliferate. We have 1 million specific T cell here. Where is the infected cell? Where is the antigen? Dendritic cell transported a few antigen to the lymph node. Only one antigen, only one virus, but where are the infected cells? Here, somewhere here. Yeah, if it's the skin was infected, the dendritic cell transported the antigen to the lymph node, but the viruses are still proliferate here, replicate here. Okay, so we have billions of specific T cells here, and we have infected cells here. What's the method? What shall we do?
With the gradients.
Or these T cells, during the proliferation, the T cell differentiate. It not only proliferate, but differentiate. So one specific naive T cell arrive, recognize the virus. We have 1 million specific T cell, what we call effector T cell, not naive T cell, but effector T cell. These effector T cells don't want to stay, don't want to live in the lymph nodes, but want to get to the periphery. Okay? So these T cells will exit from the lymph node, will go to the skin, and will kill the infected cell. Okay? So T cell activation requires 2 steps. One, in the first step, the naive T cell will be activated by the dendritic cell in the lymph node. Okay, for sure, nobody else can. Be brave and say yes. Nobody else can activate a naive T cell, only the dendritic cell, only in the lymph nodes. Okay? After it, we have effector T cells. Effector T cell can be activated anywhere. Any cell, any nucleated cell can activate an effector T cell. Okay? So it's 2 completely different processes. Is it clear?
Yeah.
For sure?
What is the effector T cell?
Effector T cell differentiate in the lymph node during the proliferation, during the clonal expansion.
So if they don't need any antigen.
They need that. That's what it's important to get. Okay?
But they don't need dendritic cell.
Don't need dendritic cell. They need antigen presenting cell, need MHC peptide complex, need the antigen. Okay? So in the lymph node, the naive T cell, we recognize the same MHC peptide complex as the effector T cell in the skin. Okay? So the antigen is the same. It was a clonal proliferation. All the cells recognize the same antigen. Okay? But the naive in the lymph node by dendritic cell, effector T cells in the skin. Okay? So you must distinguish naive and effector T cells.
So all the antigen presenting cells can just initiate the effector T cell?
Or naive T cells. Okay. Do we have CD4 positive naive helper T cells?
No.
Why?
Yes.
Yes. So don't mix. We have CD4 and CD8 positive T cell, and we have naive and effector. So we have naive CD4 effector, CD4. We have naive CD8 effector. It is completely 2 different classifications. So the T cell will proliferate in the lymph node, the naive T cell and the effector T cell will recognize once more the antigen in the periphery. So I still will continue it from now on, I won't ask it in the first test. In the first test, you must be able to distinguish naive and effector T cell, okay? Just I don't want to tell you once more to listen to me. That's the only one I want to all of you listen to. So, there is one more problem in case of intracellular pathogens, okay? So, the dendritic cell take the antigen to the lymph node, naive T cell recognize it, okay? That's the first step. This must be the first step. If any cell is infected, and what is it? Tell me a cell in the skin.
Melanocytes.
Melanocytes. Okay. A melanocyte is infected by the virus. A virus. Only the melanocytes are infected by a virus. How can this virus get to the dendritic cell? These viruses live in the melanocytes and not in the dendritic cells. Okay? Or imagine a tumor. We have a tumor like hepatocytes. Only it's a tumoric hepatocytes, but not tumoric dendritic cells. Okay, so they live here. A melanoma, that's good. Okay. So melanoma, just the tumors are growing. Only the dendritic cell can present for naive T cell only in the lymph node. How can we take a melanoma antigen to the lymph node?
They don't take it, basically. They don't just copy the pattern.
So there is one way, only one solution. Okay, that's the solution. Don't try to guess anything else. The infected cells or tumoric cells will die sooner or later. Okay? And the dead cells will be engulfed by the dendritic cells. Till this melanoma contains only living cells, the immune system cannot recognize it. Okay? So the dendritic cells engulf and present it in the lymph node. Okay? That's what we call cross-presentation. The antigen must get into the dendritic cell. If it's intracellular, if it's extracellular, only the dendritic cell can initiate a T cell response. Okay? Try to digest it at home. Okay. If anyone has questions, I am ready to answer. Otherwise, everyone else can go.